So originally when I made this, I had quite a bit of concern over the level of the smell of thyme that was in it. But luckily, it has more mellowed out, so now it's more of an appley, honey sort of smell. So either way, it wouldn't have been ruined because you can use it on vegetables and that would have turned out very nice. So for this next stage, I'm going to have to sieve out all of the bits and weigh it. The reason for that is so we can find out how much sugar we need to put in there. Oh, it would have helped if I'd turned the fucking thing on. Right. Oh, you fuck. What? What a dickhead. As you just saw there, batch just went all over the fucking place. But I have a tiny little bit left in there, so let's see how much we've got and try and work with it. See, that is all we can do right this second. Hold on, that needs straining again. I know. It wasn't ideal. Right, let's have a little look. We're just under 300 millilitres, which is still ideal because that is still just a small batch. So there's 200 there. Let's try to be as close as we can. So about 280. Or I've got to put that if it still works. I fucking knew that was going to happen, didn't I? Right, I'm going to a different cupboard.
What are you looking for?
Something to measure in. It's not mine, it's the missus.
Don't lie.
Yeah, very cute. Why are you measuring in millilitres for? Well, I don't want you to. It doesn't matter what sugar you use. I've got a mix of half granulated sugar and half caster sugar, as you can see now. That 270 that'll do. Okay, so the next step will be to get this put into a nice clean pot ready for boiling. Terrible camera footage. Absolutely terrible. Right, once this is done boiling, should take about 5 minutes to get to a boil. We're putting it on a nice medium-high heat, as you can see, number 4 out of 5 there. And once it starts a rolling boil, we're going to change it over to the next ring, which is already going to be prepared at a 3, so that it can be just a simmer. Albeit there is less water in here than I was expecting, so it could probably do with a 2. And then at that point, we're going to mix in all of this sugar. And that needs to be at a ratio of 50-50. So, as I said before, 300 millilitres of liquid to 300 grams of sugar. And that's obviously going to be there to preserve it and to help give it its consistency and sweetness.
And my table sheets on.
Call me her little bird. I figured after the fire, some of these birds I need to dress. It's very sweet.
Oh, it's been about 3 or 4 minutes, just letting it cool down very slightly before I add this. It's not like the temperature difference is a crazy amount. It's going to be probably like 10, 15, 20 degrees difference anyway. Your aim is just to not burn that sugar. If not, you'll get off flavours, and nobody wants that, especially if you're making it in a big batch. Unfortunately, it ain't exactly a big batch anymore. It's going to keep mixing it through until all of that's dissolved, and there's no graininess when you pick it up. As you can see, all those grains left over, they'll slowly get smaller and then they'll start suspending in the water, so you have to lift it up and be able to actually see whether it's dissolved properly. Give that a couple minutes. It's a lovely colour though. You can smell it already. Perfect. Now we're going to let this simmer for about 45 minutes before I come check on it. Obviously, over time I'm going to be having a look at it just to make sure it's not over bubbling. If not, you're more likely to burn it and ruin it. Try keep an eye on the colour, make sure it doesn't go too dark. If so, you may need to lower the temperature a little bit. But other than that, there's not much for me to say at this point, so I'm leaving. So now, as you can see, if I just let this cool down for a couple seconds, slowly roll it off the top, you see those longer sort of globs that are dropping down, holding onto the spoon more. That's the sort of texture that we're looking for. Perfect. So what we're going to do now is take that off the heat. I'm just going to leave that to sit there for about half an hour to cool down. The reason for this is just so that I can double check that it's got the right consistency before I jar it. Whereas if it's not, then I can just boil it up a little bit more just to extract a little bit more liquid from it. Let's see if I've left these long enough or they're going to smash and we're going to ruin the whole batch. That wasn't a bad turnout, was it really? Definitely would have preferred more. It came out much more golden.